Let's begin by getting ourselves into a comfortable position. You can sit on a chair, sit cross-legged, in a kneeling posture, or with your legs extended forward, however you feel most comfortable. You can use a cushion, perhaps to put underneath your sit bones, to just help lift you and raise you up within the trunk of your body. Let's take a moment or two to tune in so we can close the eyes to achieve this. Become observant of your breath. Be aware of the air that is directly in front of your face and really experience the drawing in of that air into your nostrils. At the same time, connecting with the experience of your lungs inflating, your chest opening, your ribs opening, making room, space for the inflating lungs. And then let go of that breath consciously, completely. And you'll notice that once you begin to observe your breathing, it will lengthen and deepen, bringing with it a sense of calm, soothes the nervous system, soothes the deeper parasympathetic nervous system. And open the eyes. Just check that the skin on the face is soft and relaxed and the teeth are unclenched. Sometimes through concentration, you may, without knowing it, grit the teeth or even stop the breath. But you want to always be aware that the breath flow is constant and the jawline is relaxed. That just allows the freedom of movement to disperse and pass through you with greater ease. So we're going to begin by mobilizing the spine and releasing through the hips, and we'll be working towards positions such as the gate, Parighasana. We'll be doing Upavista Konasana, which is an extended angle stretch. And we'll go for Anantasana, which is the eternal one. So we're really working the sides of the body today. And if we have time, we'll do headstand at the end. So let's begin with some movability in the spine. We're going to just gently begin to make circles with the torso. And look at making the movement as fluid as possible. Get rid of any rigidity and allow the circle to flow. Almost imagining that the trunk of your body is the spoon stirring in the pot. And connect it with the breath. Stay focused, experiencing your rhythmic breath cycle. And then reverse and go in the opposite direction. At any time you can close the eyes and draw inward. Then you can open the eyes once again. However you want to make your practice. It's your choice. And then you'll come to a central position. Let's just bring the hands either side of the hips, just slightly back a bit. Remembering not to lean back, we want to still have our head and shoulders positioned centrally over our hips, but we're going to take a breath in and rise up through the trunk of the body, dome the chest up, really open out across the front of the chest, drop the shoulders down and back, and raise the chin and the eyes up. See if you can drop the head and neck right back so that you've got this seated backward flexion of the spine. Think about lifting the stomach internally. Think about possibly lifting the pubis to the navel. You'll feel the space that you create, and then you can surrender into it. And then keep that lift that you've achieved and return to a central seated position. Let's bring our left hand outside of our left hip. Let's breathe in and stretch up through the right arm and gently lean to the left. Keep both sitting bones connected with the mat. There may be a tendency for the right sitting bone to want to lift off of the ground now as you stretch to the left. But you want to keep your body weight, the base, the foundation, secure and connected to the earth. Follow the breath. Your breath is your guide. You'll get to the point where you feel that you can go no further, but if you hold it there and breathe into and out of the body, you'll begin to recognize that on an outbound breath, you can release and surrender and stretch further. And then you'll pull focus to the tummy to support the back as you rise up. Let's change sides, so our right hand rests outside of our right hip. Breathe in, stretch up through the left side of the body, through the left arm, and then lean to the right. Again, draw the weight down into that left buttock so that it stabilises and you've got a nice grounding of the pelvis and both hips and buttocks with the mat. And take your time to breathe in and breathe out and to really be in the present moment of the movement you're making. There's no rush, there's no force necessary. You're simply journeying with your breath and discovering your body and its amazing potential for movement. And then you'll draw in and come back to central position. Maybe close your eyes briefly just to tune in and check on how you feel internally and externally. And now we're going to gently bring ourselves round onto our knees into an upright kneeling position. Preparing ourselves for Parighasana, the gate posture. So recognizing that we are doing a movement called gate, it's almost as if we are doing an opening, and we're going to be opening out in the hips, first on one side then the other, and we'll be stretching our spine laterally, sideways. So we're really opening up the skin on the sides of our body to awaken and to tone. So we're going to activate and engage them. So from this upright kneeling position, we want to already begin thinking of our left hand side and lifting and creating space, getting those hips up and away from the femur bones. Another breath in, rise up through the torso, make yourself as tall as you can be, and then swing the left leg out. So you're really rotating out in that left hip. Position your left foot how it is comfortable for you. So you might like your toes to be facing towards 12 o'clock. You might like to angle them out sideways. Just take the time in the foundation of the position to find where is right for you. Have your left hand on your left inner thigh. Breathe in and create that space. Elevate upwards. Extend the lower half of the body up towards the upper half. And then on our next exhalation, we'll begin to slide that left hand down the leg, nice and slowly, because now we want to focus on our upper body and ensure that the shoulders stay in alignment. So avoid rounding that right shoulder forward or dropping in the upper chest. Keep drawing that right shoulder back. You might even like to put your right hand on your right shoulder just to gently draw it backwards as you stretch and extend the left. And then we can release and stretch that right arm up and bring it over and across the ear. And we reach the fingertips towards the wall beside us or the window. And breathe. And you can even close the eyes here and have that internal view, that eye inside you that's now really able to look at the accuracy of your position and is able to refine your posture, your skeletal alignment. And then pulling the tummy in, we return to our central upright kneeling position, and then just getting ready for us to go to the other side, preparing, creating space. It's always through an in-breath that you will lift. And it's all over. And it's all inside. It could be seen as clumping the whole thought together just to say, move up. And then on an exhalation, you'll rotate the right hip out. Take the time to place your right foot where it feels good for you. It can turn in or out as long as it's aligned with the knee. And think about the thigh on the left leg and lift it up. The more space you can create in the foundation of the posture, the greater reach you will attain. Let's have our right hand on the inside of our right thigh. Breathe in and lift up, pubis to navel, navel to breastbone, breastbone to brow, brow to crown of head. And then as you exhale, begin to trace the right hand down the inside of the right leg. Breathe in and bring that left hand onto the left shoulder and just adjust that left shoulder so that you can see it's stacked perfectly above the right shoulder. Allow the head and neck to be a natural extension of the spine. You might like to close the eyes and just really look in and feel correct alignment. With continued practice, this will become easier. You'll be able to feel your way much better as you tune in and develop your ability to understand your skeleton, your skeletal frame. Let's extend that left arm over our ear, reaching the left fingertips to the wall beside. Teeth are unclenched, skin on the face soft. And then pulling into the core, belly button drawing to the base of your spine, returning to the upright kneeling position, and to then bring the buttocks down to the heels of the feet. Palms on top of each other, point of thumbs touching. You might like to just lower the chin and watch the chest rise and fall for a breath. Upavista Konasana. So we're now going to go for a seated angle. Let's bring our hands in front of us, lift our buttocks, bring our feet out to the side, and then bring ourselves down onto the sitting bones. And let's extend our legs outwards. Now you want to get the legs to a point where they are still fully connected with the mat, and your thighs, your knees and your shins and your toes are all pointing up to the ceiling. If you stretched your legs too wide and you have bent knees and gaps like this, just shut the legs down a little bit. There's no need to overstretch. It's so much kinder to your body and your mind if you get to a point that's absolutely comfortable, and even a little bit less so that it feels easy, because then your body's going to relax so much more, and that will increase the potential for further suppleness and flexibility to come to you. So we want to again be creating space in the torso. We're going to be hinging forward. So to do that, we need to get those hips up and away from the femur bones. The top of the femur bone into the hip looks a bit like that. You've got that knobble of bone at the top of the femur, the hip resting on top. And then when you breathe in and lift the hip and then exhale, you've got more space to be able to hinge it over. A lot of people fall into the trap of thinking that when you lean forward, you just slump and round the shoulders. No, you want to keep it feeling as if the backbone is like a rod. It's very straight, and you're going to hinge forward with a nice erect spine rather than rounding it. So we've created that space. Now you can either walk the hands out along the legs, and if you can touch the toes, great. If not, you could have the hands just in front of you. But just connect with the breath. And you might get to the point where you think, okay, I can take my right hand, grab the flesh of my right buttock and pull it up into the small of my back, and do the same with the left, and it really shifts you forward. Relaxing your groins. You've got two sets of groins, one at the front here, the front groins in the very upper crease of your legs to your pubis, and then your back groins are right at the meeting of the buttocks and the top of the legs. So just take the breath to these parts, and especially when you exhale, surrender. And as you're hinging forward, leaning forward, every breath in, you can feel that you have this pull, this reach coming up to the crown of the head, and it's extending you forward as you lower. So for those of you that are advanced, you can take your nose, your forehead to the mat. For those of you that still practicing on your stretch and your surrender, bring your hands between the legs. Nice breath in, and as you exhale, flex the elbows down. Breathe in, straighten the arms. Exhale, flex the elbows down. And you can just do this a few times, keeping it with the breath, and watching the head and neck are a natural extension of the spine as well, so avoid holding your head up or avoid dropping it down too far. Find that perfect middle ground, that lovely alignment that is possible to achieve. And then from wherever you are in your practice, let's pull the tummy in, restack the bones of the spine, and bring our legs together. Bend them, bring them together. Cross-legged position for that moment of reflection. Now, let us move into Anantasana, the eternal one. So this is going to build our core strength. We really need to use our abdominals in this, and it also aids again the sides of our body, waking us up to our left side, our right side. Let's bring the knees together and then extend them out to the left, and we're going to stretch our body along the mat. So take the time as you're bringing the upper body down to really open out underneath that armpit. And then you can bend that right arm and bring your hand to connect underneath either the back of the neck, or you could rest the head into the hand. Use your left hand as a stabilizer to begin with. Bring both feet to have the toes pointing forward, so they're almost like a stabilizer as well. You want to ensure that your left hip is stacked over your right, and you're trying to keep yourself nice and straight along the front, nice and straight on the back, so avoid allowing the top hip to collapse back or to roll forward. See if you can really get yourself aligned. Breathe in and breathe out. So you can just practice here. You could take the left hand to rest onto the thigh and see if you can hold the straightness at that position, or you might like to still use that left hand as a stabilizer. If you can move on, we're going to breathe in, we're going to bend the left leg in towards us, and we're going to collect with 2 fingers and a thumb round the big toe. You could also use a belt or strap here if you wanted to put the strap beneath the ball of your foot so that you've got something to hold on to if you can't reach the fingers to the toes. Nice deep breath in, align yourself. Exhale, begin to straighten the left leg. Unclench your teeth and breathe. And then, with the strength and grace you went into the position, release from it. And then bringing yourself out in, and let's go to the other side. So you're going to stretch your legs away from you to the right, and then bring those 2 feet to stabilize the lower half of your body. Nice deep breath in and extend along the left side of the torso as you bring yourself down, and then bend the left arm and rest your head in your hand, or rest the hand around the back of the head into the neck. Use your right hand as a stabilizer, or you can bring the right hand to rest on the right thigh as you just find your foundation. Breathe in and breathe out, and think of pulling the belly towards the lower spine to really lend it support to strengthen. So you can either stay practicing here and following the breath, allowing that to guide you. And when you're ready, breathe in, bend the right knee in towards you, collecting the 2 fingers and thumb around the big toe. And then upon an exhalation, begin to straighten that leg. Remember, you can use a belt or strap around the foot. It just gives you that bridge between your hands and your foot. And breathe. And then, with the strength and grace that you went into the position, release out. And then bring yourself round, cross-legged. Close the eyes and be aware of how you feel both internally and externally. Keep that lift up through the trunk of your body. Sit tall. And then we'll prepare for Sirsasana, headstand. So we have interweaved the practice of the headstand into these videos. If you have come to watch this video as a first one, you might like to go all the way back and start at day 1. The headstand really takes time to practice well and safely. So I encourage you to maybe watch first, see the demonstration, listen to the pointers, techniques, and then go into the position. It's all too likely that the ego, although good to some level, it can not be so good when it charges in and makes you think, I want this quick fix, I want to do it now. You need to rein your ego in and really practice with caution but dynamism. And if you practice in the position in its foundation for a good few times, maybe a few weeks, you'll notice that when you get headstand, you have it forevermore, and it's a great understanding of how to balance on your head. So let's prepare. Bring yourself round to a kneeling position. You're going to link your fingers and cup the hands, and this is what your head is going to resting and be supported by. You're going to be distributing your body weight within the forearms, the hands and the head. When you go into the position, you also want to acknowledge that you don't collapse all your energy and your weight down into your head. You want to have this energetic lift so that you feel like even though your head is on the ground, your energy is rising upwards. So we are going to go straight into the headstand. For those of you that have been following the daily practice, you'll be more aware. If not, maybe watch first and then join in. And if you are trying it for a first time, have a wall behind you. So you'd have your hands and your head here, and you'll make your way up, and then at least you've got a wall for some support in the first days of trying. Okay, so you want your elbows to be shoulder width apart. Take a nice deep breath in. Lift your buttocks. Bring the crown of your head to rest into your cupped hands. Turn your toes under. Breathe in and lift the hips and the buttocks. Unclench your teeth, swallow so that you open your airways. At this point, remember to already start thinking about lifting the energy, not collapsing all the way into your head. You're going to walk your toes towards you until the point where they actually just want to lift away from the mat, and then curl the knees in, keeping the thighs close to the torso. So it's here that you could practice for your first minutes, and then make this a regular practice during the week. You need go no further. You want to get strong and balanced here before you move on to raising the legs. Pulling the stomach in. Staying focused. Have a point of focus in front of you. And breathe. So the weight is balanced in your forearms, in your hands, but you feel like you're rising up to the soles of your feet. So you're not collapsing your body weight down into the mat. That would make too much heaviness on the head. You want to stay light and lifted. And then we'll drop the heels of the feet down towards the back of the thighs and the buttocks, and then pulling the tummy in, we'll draw the thighs in towards the torso, bringing the knees down, allowing the toes to lower, keeping that control, and then walk the toes back, bring the knees down, release the hands, and draw the buttocks down towards the heels of the feet. Extend the arms alongside the body, fingers running in the same direction as the toes. You want to stay nice and low for a few moments so that you let all that rich, oxygenated blood balance itself equally and evenly through the whole of your body now. If you come up too soon, you're liable to jolt the influx of oxygen, and it could leave you dizzy or lightheaded. But if you come up nice and slowly, bringing the chin to the chest, restack the bones of the spine. Once your shoulders are over your hips, you can bring the head up, and then coming in to a finishing seated position, cross-legged, kneeling. You might like to stay in the child pose for a bit longer. Close the eyes briefly. Tune in. And then we can open the eyes, bring the palms of the hands together, feeling refreshed, rejuvenated and revitalised. 3 great sentences, well actually 3 great words made into one sentence that could become a positive affirmation for you to take into your day. I am refreshed, rejuvenated and revitalised. The power of the mind is infinite. You tell it something enough, it will believe it, and it will be it. So enjoy the rest of your day ahead, and always be safe in the knowledge that yoga is good for you.